All right. And let's get started. First up, we have a sell on HMSTR USDT. That is on our sell list. This will be a short to well, according to this, it might go to 0. So I'm definitely not doing that. Let's go to 0.1 because I don't think it's going to get all the way there. HMSTR USDT. Okay. We'll trade. HMSTR USDT. This is a 60-minute sell. All right, risk going to be 4.8. Entry is going to be 000364. Stop is going to be 000419. Floor at 55 pips. The trade is going to be for 264 pips. All right. First up, we got HMSTR USDT. It's a 60-minute sell. Entry price is double 0.000364. Stop loss is 0.000419 for 55 pips. Take profit is 0.000100 for 264 pips. Risk to reward ratio of 4.80. Well, next up, we've got Alice versus Tether. It's also on our sell list. We're going to be targeting 1784. Okay. Risk is 6.47. Entry is 24.25. Stop is 25.24 for 99 pips. Take profit is 1784 for 641 pips. And we have Alice versus Tether. It's a 15-minute sell. Entry price is 0.2425. Stop loss is 0.2524 for 99 pips. Take profit is 0.1784 for 641 pips. And a risk to reward ratio of 6.47. And next up, we've got Dogs versus Tether. Targeting quadruple 0187. So Risk is 8.55. Interest 452. Stop is 483. 31 pips. Take profit is 187. It's 265 pips. Now we have dogs versus tether, 15-minute sell. Entry price is 0.0452. Stop loss is 0.0483 for 31 pips. Take profit is 0.040187 for 265 pips. Risk to reward ratio of 8.55. All right, next up we've got cow versus tether. And this is targeting 1847. Interest 2.57. Entry is 1919. Stop is 1947. It's 28 pips. Take profit is 1847. 72 pips. Let's call cow versus tether. 15-minute sell. Entry is 0.1919. Stop is 0.1947 for 28 pips. Take profit is 0.1847 for 72 pips. Risk reward ratio of 2.57. Next up, we have RBN versus tether, targeting 00839. Risk is 3.42. Entry is 921. Stop is 945. Risk is 839. Next up is RVN versus Tether, 15-minute sell. Entry is 0.00921. Stop is 0.00945 for 24 pips. Take profit is 0.00839 for 82 pips. Risk reward ratio of 3.42. Missing a few things. What's that? It's RVN. Cow. And dogs. Well, trading views locking up on me. There we go. So why it's moving so slow? Just come on here. Oh man, come on, dude. I want to have to reset this screen, but I'm gonna have to reload because it is tripping. 1 second. There we go. Much better. All right, so this time we have Portal versus Tether. We have target 005. sure what the deal was just then, but got it fixed. There's going to be a risk of 5.41. Entry price is going to be 2.23. Stop is 255. And take profit is 0050. It's called Portal versus Tether. 15-minute confirmation sell. Entry price is 0.02323. Stop loss is 0.0255 for 32 pips. Take profit is 0.0050 for 173 pips. Risk reward ratio of 5.41. Next up, we have Aster versus Tether, targeting 0.859. ASTR. Risk is 3.02. Stop is 1.013. 1.064. 51 pips. And 0.859. That's 454 pips. There is a higher chance that it will go to TP, but if you've noticed, two of the trades say that they're going to go to negative. It's not possible to go to a negative price. So if it were to actually hit the TP that the trade was called to, that means that the cryptocurrency will go defunct. I don't think that's going to be possible. So we're aiming for a level above that. Aster versus Tether, 15-minute sell. Entry price is 1.013. Stop loss is 1.064 for 51 pips. Take profit is 0.859 for 154 pips. Risk reward ratio of 3.02. Let me fix that in the signals chats. Right, we have FLM targeting 0.0150. Entry is 0.207. Stop is 0.232. It's for 25 pips. Take profit is 0.150 for 57 pips. And the risk here is 2.28. Actually, we can go tighter than that. We're going to take the stop to 2.24 for 17 pips. That increases our risk to 3.35. FLM versus Tether, 15-minute sell. Entry is 0.0207. Stop is 0.0224 for 17 pips. Take profit is 0.0150 for 57 pips. And a risk reward ratio of 3.35. We already looked at Portal. WFLI targeting 1075. It's going to be another 15-minute sell. Risk is 2.49. Entry price is 11.62. Stop is 11.97. That's for 35 pips. Take profit is 10.75. And that's for 87 pips. All right, we have WLFI versus Tether. Entry price is 0.1162. Stop is 0.1197 for 35 pips. Take profit is 0.1075 for 87 pips. Risk reward ratio of 2.49. Next, we have XPL versus Tether targeting 24.31. And 2.61 is the risk here. Entry at 26.37. Stop at 27.16. And take profit at 24.31. And XPL versus Tether, 15-minute sell. Entry price is 0.2637. Stop is 0.2716 for 79 pips. Take profit is 0.2431 for 26 pips. And a risk of 2.61. Have a long on Euro Swiss franc. Don't think that's in our list. It is not. Won't be taking that. Next up, we have Resolve versus Tether. And this is aqua, blue, gray. This is consolidation. We're not going to be taking that trade. Next up, we have Eden versus Tether targeting. Or it hasn't been marked off yet. So we'll know at 2:45 a.m. what this trade is. So with that, we're all caught up for the evening. Take a look at Bitcoin, which is sitting at 101 and change. It did break the psychological level of 100,000 earlier this evening, getting down to 98,966. There are several reasons why. There are a few Bitcoin whales and BlackRock that deposited loads of Bitcoin to exchanges. Basically, they sold Bitcoin, and that caused a massive sell-off. So institutions who are now purchasing more cryptocurrency are dumping their cryptocurrency in a mood to get a lower price to buy into the cryptocurrency again and drive it up. So it's a liquidity grab. So what they're doing is taking advantage of the FOMO of retail traders who are continuing to be idiots and trying to short Bitcoin by shorting Bitcoin even further, driving them out of the market, and then taking that liquidity and driving up price. What I'm seeing is simple. So this is Bitcoin on the daily. I'm going to move this over so that you can see it. I'm going to turn on pivots. And the all-time high was way up here at 126 and change. R1 is sitting at 123.205.09. S1, because it moves from color to color, we're sitting at 99,005.46. It bounced off of that level and took off. So the next logical progression is going to go from this level all the way back up to 123.205.09. This is what pivots does. It goes from point to point. Now, if we were to go back in time and look at price, it hit it once, came down. It hit it once, came way down. Now it's going back up. We continue to look to the left. We see the price has been down here already. Point to point. Point to point. So just based off of institutional candles, if price were to break previous structure, which is way over here, at around 98,300, it would be in free fall until the next pivot, which happens to be at 88,400. That's a huge drop. I don't think it's going to get there. I think it's going to hold this level because I don't think there's enough liquidity in between this zone to make institutions drop Bitcoin's price that low. So here we are in the midst of a possible recovery on Bitcoin around 22,000 points. And I think that's the play here. They've gotten greedy enough where they can't scare off all the retail traders. They've taken all their liquidity. They've driven off well over $1.6 trillion worth of liquidity. I think that's going to be enough for them to push Bitcoin higher. They won the trades. They have the money at this point. And there are not enough retail traders to get in their way, except for people like us that were smart enough to get in and out of Bitcoin, profiting along the way. So we did not get liquidated. I don't think this is over, though. I do think Bitcoin will rally very heavily if the U.S. federal government decides they're going to reopen. I think in the short term, that's going to weaken the U.S. dollar, which by proxy weakens dollar equivalents like treasury bonds and treasury bills, which are the primary backing for all stable coins, including Tether. So as the dollar weakens, cryptocurrency spot trades go up. As Tether weakens, cryptocurrency perpetuals go up. Then you're going to have the institutions buying back into the market to buy Bitcoin at these lower price points, thereby driving value back up. I don't think that's going to be enough to start an altcoin season like it has every 4 years before this. In a year of Bitcoin halving, I think that's going to require the passage of the Clarity Act, which is the last of the three parts of crypto legislation under consideration by the U.S. Congress. Everything else has been passed. With those three together, essentially what you have is a system where cryptocurrency can be treated as fiat, where central banks can issue central bank of digital currencies, where banks can allow their shareholders and their customers to hold cryptocurrency alongside their fiat currency and transact in those currencies in live time. It also allows surveillance of accounts. It also allows the ability to freeze assets using DeFi as opposed to using a SWIFT system, which is what we currently use. So, of course, anyone who achieves that level of sophistication has complete control over financial transactions. That's the play. They want to be able to tax every dollar. They want to be able to see every dollar. So now we wait. Now, while we were resting, it does appear we had at least one win. Just got to go back and see what that was. I stand corrected. We didn't have one. So we've got 25 crypto positions that are currently open. The rest are all other types of assets. Need to get some water, but the throat is dry. It's 2:42 a.m. Next ticker's at 2:45 in about 3 minutes. And we'll see if we get some more opportunities to enter the market. I'll get some water now. Really don't want to be coughing all session. Much better. So just for perspective, this is the move from yesterday. This is the move from today. The cryptocurrency market resets every 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every day. It does run 24/7, so it never closes. Got 30 seconds left to the quarter of the hour. I did take on another broker, BTCC. That's why you're seeing some signals that you're not used to seeing. We simply have more pairs that we can trade. We're now up to 428 assets that we're trading right now. And just like that, we have a sell on Swiss franc versus Japanese yen. Take a look to see if that is on our list. It is not, so we won't be taking that trade. Eden, however, is now marked off, and we will be taking that. This is a sell targeting 0.952. 0.0952. Eden. It's a 15-minute sell. The risk is 2.97. The entry is 1062. The stop is 1099. That's for 37 pips. The take profit is 0.0952. That's for 110 pips. Eden versus Tether is a 15-minute sell. Entry price is 0.1062. Stop is 0.1099 for 37 pips. Take profit is 0.0952 for 110 pips. The risk is 2.97. And we have the United States dollar versus the Hong Kong dollar. Not on our list. Won't be taking that. And next we have GMX versus Tether. Has not been marked off yet. We'll get that at the top of the hour at 3 a.m., which is also a 4-hour candle for the cryptocurrency market. So we're caught up again, and we have more waiting to do. We're now up to 26 trades open for the crypto. This is my first time taking a trade on Aster versus Tether. It's one of those newer assets. Pretty meaty. Where are you guys trading from? I'm in Houston, Texas, in the United States. I'm just curious. Drop it in the chat. Okay. I keep forgetting Nemo TV is mostly Asian countries. So I've heard of Azerbaijan before. It's actually on my bucket list to travel to. I've seen several great things about the country. Beautiful mountain ranges, by the way. All right, got about 3 minutes left to the top of the hour. No action on the futures market thus far. So white at 3 is when it should mark off our parameters for GMX versus Tether. So we can go ahead and take this trade. You probably don't normally get to see this part because we normally have more trade opportunities. So we're just continually taking trades. But the way the system works is it will call out that the signal is coming. And then at the close of the very next candle is when it will actually mark off the parameters for the trade. The reason for this is that EMAs can uncross. So in the course of the next candle, after the trade is called, the trade can invalidate itself. And what this does is it provides you with another check of confirmation, and it gets you out of trades that appear to be correct, but then turn out to be kind of Trojan horses. Does mean you have to wait just a little bit, but you're waiting anyway. Waiting's the name of the game. We are paid to wait. Pretty much sums up what trading is. It's not really a game for people that don't like to be patient. Teaches you a great deal of patience. Teaches you a great deal of emotional maturity. Because it takes a lot of gumption to set a trade and leave it alone. If you're relatively new to trading and you're not used to winning, and I do encourage you that anytime you see profit to your liking, close the trade and take your money. You do not have to wait to take profit in order to cash out. Generally speaking, your goal is to make 1% of your account per day. So if you're sitting on an account that has $500 in it, your goal for that day is to make $5. That is extraordinarily easy to do. So long as you know a system that can get you into good trades. All right, so 3 a.m. Still waiting on the markup. It's a little late. We'll come back to this. It's the top of the hour. We have MYX versus Tether. That's going to mark off in 30 minutes, so we'll know at 3:30. And we have Odd Chef on a long. That'll mark off in 1 hour. All right, there's our GMX trade. It's targeting at 8.35. I'm shorting this stop just a little bit. Let's go ahead and hop in the trade. All right. Your risk is going to be 3.25. Entry at 8.87. Stop at 9.03. And take profit at 8.35. And that's for 52. All right. We got GMX versus Tether, 15-minute sell. Entry at 8.87. Stop loss at 9.03 for 16 pips. Take profit at 8.35 for 52 pips. Risk to reward ratio is 3.25. I'm going to sit waiting on MYX. This is a 30-minute confirmation. That's when we get the trade marked off. We're not doing half bad. We got a nice chunk of calls tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 calls tonight. Got a sell on HMSTR versus Tether. Got a sell on Alice versus Tether. Got a sell on Dogs versus Tether. Got a sell on Kyle versus Tether. Got a sell on RVN versus Tether. Got a sell on Portal versus Tether. Got a sell on Astor versus Tether. Got a sell on FLM versus Tether. Got a sell on WLFI versus Tether. Have a sell on XPL versus Tether. Have a sell on Eden versus Tether. And we have a sell on GMX versus Tether. Got about 10 minutes to the quarter of the hour. This particular trade is called out as a sell on MYX versus Tether. That's going to mark itself off at 3:30 a.m. In the meantime, our highest trade is actually XMR versus Tether. We're going to check in on that. Actually, I believe I have 2 positions open on this. The first is an enter trade for 4,298 pips. We're almost to take profit on that. We called that earlier today. Congratulations for those of you that took it. As you can see, it's nice and smooth as butter. Beautiful trade. So this is an example of what I like to call an advanced entry. An advanced entry is where the trade has already hit take profit and price reversed, or a previous trade was called, price reversed to the entry price or below the entry price, and provided us with another opportunity into the market. Now, in this particular case, the original trade hit stop loss. We re-entered below the stop loss price for a new trade on the buy. because this confirmed that the direction was an uptrend. And guess what? Second time is a charm. So one of the beauties of the system is that if you mark off your AGB and BGA list for the week, your buys and your sells, you can buy the same asset over and over again if it's on the buy list. You can sell the same asset over and over again if it's on the sell list. So if it hits stop loss and it's on a buy it to the previous take profit, it's going to win if it has an uptrend. Same thing for a downtrend. It's stop loss on the sell and it's on the sell list. Sell it to that take profit. Price has now come back to you. So it's essentially a giant Patrick push. You're entering to the previous take profit. So you know the structure is correct. That gives you basically a free win. I don't really have metrics on how many of the trades I call are advanced trades, but there are a few every week, just like this one. And just like that, we have take profit for 4,298 pips. Congratulations. And we got a take profit smashed on Monero versus Tether. That's for 4,298 pips. Our broker has a bit of a spread on this, so it's going to take a little while for it to hit take profit, but it's on its way. It's the course of the longer trade of Ross swing for 8,954 pips. That's a way to go before it hits that, but a win is a win. I like it. Okay. All right, we've got a sell on Euro USD. Not on our list, so we won't be taking that. Got another 15 minutes before it marks off MYX for us.
Looks like MIX might get away on us before we even get a chance to enter the trade. It's just fine. Sometimes this happens. We got another 8 minutes before we'll even enter. Got about 5 minutes left to the middle of the hour. 3:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Mm. Less than a minute left to go.
And there we go. There's our new trade. And we've got GMX targeting 1.569, or MYX, sorry. Hop in this real quick. So this is going to be a 30-minute sell. And risk is 3.47. Entry at 1.975. Stop at 2.092. And that's for 117 pips. And take profit at 1.56 times. That's for 406 pips. All right, here's your next call. MYX versus Tether, 30-minute sell. Entry price is 1.975. Stop loss is 2.092 for 117 pips. Take profit is 1.569 for 46 pips. And a risk reward ratio of 3.47. Now, we've got Euro versus Hong Kong dollar. This is on a sell. Not on our list. Won't be taking that. And the United States dollar versus Norwegian versus Danish krona on a buy. Not on our list. Won't be taking that. And we have New Zealand dollar versus US dollar on a sell. Is on our list. So that will mark itself off at 3:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. The next ticker for us.
Mm. Mm. Another one, XPL versus Tether. Stop. Right, less than a minute left to the quarter of the hour. Something going off on heating oil. Take a look at that in a second. Yeah. That ain't even worth getting in. So we're going to ignore the call on New Zealand dollar versus US dollar. Heating oil has hit take profit for us. That's going to be for 789 pips. And here's another take profit smash. This time on HO1 heating oil. That's a futures. All right, that's for 789 pips. It's win number 1013 for the year. Brings us up to 4,457,105 pips year to date. All right, we have USD, United States dollar versus Norwegian krone. That's on our buy list, so we'll take that when it gets marked off. And we have IP versus Tether. It's on our sell list. We'll take it when it gets marked off. So these trades will both mark off at 4 o'clock in the morning, the top of the hour. That'll be our last ticker for the evening. Then we'll come back for New York at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We've got about 12 minutes to wait before we get the parameters for these two trades. That'll be it for us for the live. So a couple of cleanup points. If you're interested in joining my private signals chat, I've got that link in the chat shortly. It's Project Genesis. It's my own private signal chat. It's free of charge. You'll have access to the calls when I'm not on live as well. It might be helpful to you. If you need access to the brokers that I'm using, if you click on the description to this video, you'll see those. I use Liquid Brokers and LHFX. I also use Top Step X for futures, even though you can find your own futures broker. You can only use that. And also, recently started to use BTCC for cryptocurrency perpetual trades. There'll be some of the newer pairs that you're not used to seeing on the live. So let me grab the Telegram. Here's the link there. Now, if you click on that, it's going to open Telegram. If you're on a computer, it's going to take you straight to Telegram. You enter your phone number. That's two-factor authentication. And that's going to send you straight to the group. If you're on your phone, then you click on the link. If you don't have Telegram on your phone, it's going to send you to your app store to download Telegram. When you open the app, you put in your phone number for two-factor authentication, and voila, you're in the group. I do host the Quiet Storm live trading sessions every weekday from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time for London, and from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for New York. And I'm highly thinking about shortening New York to an hour and a half. Not this week, but beginning next week, I'll drop down to an hour and a half as opposed to doing it to 2.5 hours. So we'll go from the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange, which is at 8:30 Central Standard Time, to 10 o'clock a.m., which is the closing bell of the London Stock Exchange. So 2 hours for London, hour and a half for New York starting next week. If you haven't already done so, I would certainly appreciate it if you followed the channel, like the video, and turn on those notifications to keep abreast of when I do go live in the market. As you can see from the chat, I've called a lot of signals tonight, so you have plenty of means by which to profit. That's the whole goal here. It looks like MYX versus Tether is taking over as our deepest trade in profit. Smooth moving, 6 minutes to the top of the hour. It's been a good session. I've enjoyed myself. I hope you have too.
2 minutes left to the top of the hour. All right, we're almost there, about 20 seconds. Let's start with USD NOT. All right, this is going to be a buy. And we're targeting 10.25033. And risk is 3.13. Entry at 21411. Stop at 20252. It's for 116 pips. And take profit at 25033. That's for 362 pips. Oops. All right, here we go. We've got a buy on United States dollar versus Norwegian crowns, the 15-minute. Entries at 10.21411. Stop losses at 10.20252 for 116 pips. Take profit is 10.25033 for 362 pips. And a risk to reward ratio of 3.13. And we've got dip versus tether, targeting 3.045. Go ahead and enter this trade real quick. All right. This will be IP versus tether. We got a risk of 5.15. We got an entry at 3.694. Got stop loss of 3.820. It's 126 pips. Got take profit at 3.045. And that's for 649 pips. All right, last call of the morning. This is IP versus Tether, 15-minute sell. Entry price is 3.694. Stop loss is 3.820, 426 pips. Take profit is 3.045 for 649 pips. The risk is 5.15. Now, we got Euro versus PLN. That's a buy. Not on our list. We got HMSTR on a 2-hour. So that's not going to mark itself off until 6 o'clock in the morning. No point in that because I think this might go to zero today. So but I got to get into that. Got New Zealand dollar versus Canadian dollar, also a sell. That is on our list. That marks off in 15 minutes. May miss it because I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And then we got TUT versus Tether. That's on our list as well. But again, I'm getting ready to go to sleep. So I'll see you guys bright and early for 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for New York. Cheers.